from inside Colonial Life Arena in Columbia, South Carolina. It's women's college basketball in the SEC, and tonight the South Carolina Gamecocks look to remain undefeated as they play host to Florida. I'm Dave Weinstein alongside the former Gamecock Brett Ball. South Carolina made a statement against LSU, proving it's the Gamecocks and it's everyone else. And tonight they welcome in Florida, a team that struggled with injuries this season, but Brett, they're starting to get healthy and they should be up for the challenge tonight.
As you mentioned, Dave, again, South Carolina still remains #1 in their conference and #1 in the nation. And they're not barely winning games. They're totally dominating on both sides of the basketball. You know, they're beating teams by 30 points or more, and they're holding opponents less than 60 points per game. And they've done that 19 times this season. And Florida, again, there's coming in, like you mentioned, struggling with injuries throughout the season, but they're coming into this environment and they're looking to upset the #1 team in the nation.
Well, in the win over LSU is Camila Cardoso, who really stepped up, earning SEC Player of the Week for the second time this season.
Again, she's just one of those players that, you know, you just have to keep an eye on. She's done so well last week, averaging 12 points per game, 10 rebounds, 5 block shots in the last 2 games, shooting over 79% from the field. When she's on, she's the key to South Carolina breaking away from their opponents.
Players in and out of the lineup all season for Florida, but one constant has been the steady play of KK Deans.
Yeah, KK Deans, number 3, again, the team's leading scorer, very good guard. And she's one of UF experienced players, 80 assists. Again, you can't just have those numbers without having some sort of basketball IQ, knowing how to get your team to basketball. And like you mentioned before, we talked about how Florida is playing around the rotation, trying to work through the injuries. She's been one of those consistent players, and we're looking forward to having her having a productive night for Florida.
Coming off the win over LSU in front of their largest crowd of the season, a sold-out CLA. The Gamecocks, they're not worried about a letdown tonight, Brett. This team treats every game with equal importance.
Yeah, Coach mentioned earlier how their players stay current. They know there's more basketball to play. Obviously, you know, the LSU game was a little bit more intense given the rankings, but they enjoyed it for the moment, and then they turned the page to focus on Florida and focus on the basketball that lies ahead of them.
The scoop shot is good from Zia Cook. The Gamecocks with the early lead.
Again, great shot by Zia Cook for just attacking the basket, and she done that. She just has that capability of doing that, and the team benefits from when she drives to the basket.
She's the team's leading scorer, double digits in 20 of 25 games this season. Kyle from the baseline, in and out, and the rebound for Aaliyah Boston, averaging 9.9 rebounds a game this season. Saxton finds Boston.
Nice, just high-low pass, and that's, again, Aaliyah Boston awarded herself by keep moving without the basketball, setting the screen, rolling to the basket, and she found herself open. Victoria Saxton got to the basketball.
A couple of veterans that know how to play off each other.
Absolutely.
Ricards. This is Rimdahl. Trying to get it to Kyle in the post against Boston. Kyle finishes for Florida.
Nice finish for Kyle, and again, she has some size matchup really with Boston.
Rochea Kyle, junior center from Indiana, averaging 9.7 per game. The pull-up from Cook, in and out, fight for the rebound. Merritt throws it to Kiera Fletcher. Another opportunity now for the Gamecocks. This is Bree Beal. She'll drive. Beal off the glass, no good. Boston, an offensive rebound. Cook for 3. Got it!
Great shot, Zia Cook. Again, she's just such a versatile player. As we saw, she opened up the game with the attack to the basket, and then she's now knocking down 3-pointers. Again, that's just who she is, and she's been consistent with that for the past couple games.
5 points for Cook, who had 17 against LSU on Sunday. Zia keeps her dribble. Zia is now on the Wooden and Naismith watch lists. Having a terrific senior season. Saxton, 10 seconds. Cook for 3, top of the arc. Shot no good. And the rebound to Rochea Kyle.
Great rebound for Kyle, for leads the team in rebounds.
Rimdahl looks to drive. She finishes off the glass. Rimdahl, sophomore guard from Denmark, coming off a 6-point performance at Georgia on Sunday. Saxton, strong inside.
Wow, what a crafty reverse layup. Good to see Saxton makes those type of moves. We talked to her earlier, and she talked about how she just doesn't really focus on stats. She does the little things, but again, she's just extremely athletic and capable of making those type of plays.
Offensive foul will go the other way. First foul on Rashea Kyle.
As we continue to talk about Saxton, a nice defensive play for her on the defensive end.
And Saxton's so durable. She starts every game.
Yeah.
6-point game on Sunday against LSU. Her season high is 12 points. That was against Auburn on January 5th. We were here for that, Brett.
Right.
Terrific performance.
Absolutely. And she's just one of those players who her efforts don't necessarily always show up on the stat sheet.
Cook drives to the hole and finishes. Zia Cook has 7 of the Gamecocks' 11 early here in the first quarter. This is Micah Perry. Duke off the glass and in.
Nice play by Florida. Good finish by Duke.
Faith Duke, the senior forward from Vancouver, British Columbia, averaging 5.2 per game. Had a rough game on Sunday at Georgia. 10 minutes, no points, no rebounds, 4 fouls. If you're a Gator fan, good to see her on the scoreboard early. That shot no good, and the rebound to Bree Beal. She'll look to push. Beal takes it herself.
Great finish by Beal, taking it coast to coast. That's what Coach talked about before, is just pushing the tempo, getting the ball out in transition and getting the finish, get into the basket.
What a game she had against LSU. 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a block. It's a Bree Beal game.
Yeah.
Ricards rattles it in, the senior guard from Queens, averaging 12 points per game this season for Florida, and 7 points on Sunday at UGA. Came off the bench. A 15-8 lead midway through the first quarter for the Gamecocks. Looking for Ricards. It's out of play, a turnover, and that takes us to immediate timeout. 4:52 left to go in the first quarter. South Carolina leads Florida 15-8. Coach Finley and her crew. She was elevated from interim head coach to head coach February 28, 2022, after guiding Florida to its best season since 2016. It was a 21-win season last year for the Gators, capped off an NCAA tournament appearance. And they knocked off 5 ranked opponents. She was a semifinalist for Naismith Coach of the Year. Did a terrific job taking over.
Yeah, she just done an amazing job. We talked earlier at shoot around, and I was like, man, Coach, you've been, kind of around the block and kind of served in multiple areas around just basketball in general, from, recruiting specialists to sports psychology liaisons. And she just had all those experiences that added to her coaching experience now, and she talked about how valuable that was, seeing and being in those experiences from Ivy League to now to the SEC.
Comes from a really athletic family as well. Her sister played at Harvard, had a brother, Joe, who played in the NHL, Islanders, and a couple of other teams. So they're from Minnesota, the Finleys, but she's enjoying her time in Gainesville. Likes the weather much better.
For sure.
Well, it's been Zia Cook doing the job for the Gamecocks so far. She has 7 points, 3 for 5 shooting. Gamecocks have been hot. They're shooting 7 for 10 so far. Florida not bad either, 4 for 7, but here's Cook and what she's done early in the first quarter.
Again, Zia Cook just attacking the basket and knocking down the 3. Just really hard to guard, really hard to scout.
41% from the field this season, 36% from 3. A career high 31 against UGA in early January. Shows the ability to get to the line as well. Looking for Saxton underneath. The foul is called. It's going to be on Faith Duke. Her first. Zia is keeping up with the Gators.
Yeah, her productivity, getting to the basket and actually shooting the three-point is part of her game. It's part of who she is.
Kiera Fletcher had a terrific game against LSU. Boston, shot no good, gets her own rebound, and one.
That's her MO. Getting the shot, and when it doesn't go in, getting her own rebounds. Nice little soft touch there. Again, just following the shots and get rewarded for it.
Well, Boston will head to the line. Camila Cardoso, the co-SEC Player of the Week, has checked in. Boston 14-9 against LSU on Sunday, just missed her 77th career double-double. Led the nation with a program record 30 double-doubles last year. Her last one was at UConn. It was a season-high 26 points to go along with 11 boards. Shot no good, and the rebound for Cardoso, averaging 8.4 rebounds per game this season. What a weapon to bring off the bench, Brett. 6'7", dominant center like Camila Cardoso.
Absolutely, just to have her in your arsenal is amazing. And not only that, she's been productive when she's on the floor. We talked about earlier her productivity last week. She's so close, she's so athletic, and she's so close to the basket. It's easy for her to get rebounds.
Speaking of productive, Bree Beal from the corner hits the three. She's a 40% three-point shooter this season. Shot in and out. Nice job boxing out from Camila Cardoso. Beal stays aggressive, but it's an offensive foul.
Again, one of those fouls that's a foul that you're trying to get to the basket. Of course, she wasn't in agreement with that call, but she was attacked. That was a foul where she was trying to score and attack the basket. Bree, again, has some similarities to Zai Cook in her ability to drive to the basket, but also knock down the three. For the LSU game, it's like every time she shot a three, she had the crowd on her feet because they were such clutch threes.
Rashea Kyle hits from the elbow.
Great shot by Kyle, and great job by Florida thus far, just staying in the game and being able to knock down their jumpers, knock down shots.
Kyle had 9 points, 8 rebounds Sunday at Georgia. Has 4 double-doubles this season. Transfer from Purdue. Hall stays with it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Finds a Mihir in the paint. A Mihir finishes from in close.
Great finish by Mihir. He had a little bit of mismatch issue with the Mihir, and she was able to finish and take advantage of it.
Deans off the mark. Bree Beal with the rebound for the Gamecocks, who lead 22-10. Cardoso looking to pass. Hall on the drive. Good move, up and under.
Nice move by Bree Hall. As you said, the up and under, she had like a little pause in the air, and that takes really good body control.
Well, timeout called by Florida as the Gators trail 24-10. Mentioned year 2 for Kelly Rae Finley at the helm, but her first full season as the official head coach. Had that interim tag lifted last February. But what a success last season was, 21 wins and an NCAA tournament appearance. They lost in the first round to the number 7 seed UCF, but Brett, plenty to build on. They were picked 6th and 7th in the SEC in the 2 preseason polls, the media and the coaches. So an expected middle of the pack finish. They're currently tied for 10th. They've been undone by injuries. Got off to a hot start in the non-conference, started 11-1, but have really struggled in SEC play and find themselves trailing 24-10. So look at the great move by Bree Hall.
Yeah, as you talked about Coach earlier, they struggled a little bit with the injuries, and that's really tough as a coach to come off such a successful season and having to deal with and navigate injuries and recovery and player rotation. And so I think Coach Finley has done a good job with that thus far, and she's part of rebuilding a program, and that's what it takes. It takes time.
Graduate guard Sippy Broughton, the team's leading scorer last season, is out for the year. There's a travel called on the Gators. Correa missed some games. She's their second leading scorer this season. Jordan Merritt missed all of December and most of January. She was a double-digit scorer last season, so they haven't been whole.
Right.
But they're fighting to finish strong down the stretch. A rough schedule with South Carolina tonight and LSU on Sunday, two of the best teams in the SEC.
Right, yeah, this is a really, again, this is the conference for you. This is the SEC. And like we said before, you know, the injuries are inevitable in any sport in general, but in mid-season and SEC play and conference play, it's really tough. And but that's basketball, and you have, again, players and coaches to corral around to help you, you know, be able to recover and get back to how you were playing and to move the program forward.
Cardoso to inbound, finds Watkins. Mihir thought about it. Instead, she'll drive. Letitia Mihir averaging 7 points per game, coming off a 6.6 rebound performance against LSU.
She had a little tap on the backboard there. I thought it was going to go up for a dunk, but she's let it go.
From the corner, this is Perry.
Nice shot.
Micah Perry, a freshman guard from Norman, Oklahoma, averaging just under 10 minutes per game.
She was also a McDonald's All-American game nominee. I think, you know, bringing her skill set in keeps Florida, you know, keep Florida alive in this game. They've having some really good looks, just not been able to knock all their shots down.
Haven't shot well the last several games. Hoping to get on track tonight. Trailing 26-13. Camila Cardoso to the line for the Gamecocks. That 18-point, 13-rebound, 3-block performance against LSU on Sunday. She's been terrific all season, 17-11 at UConn, has 6 double-doubles this year. Her numbers are really up. Last season, 5.4 points, 5.4 boards. This season, 10 points and 8.4. Really getting comfortable in her role really here with South Carolina.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we can really even see more of that coming from her from next year.
Gamecocks will get another opportunity here. Raven Johnson has been terrific running the point. 2 very good point guards for South Carolina, and Fletcher and Johnson complement each other well. That shot is long. Cardoso fights for the rebound, tips it to Mihir, who feeds Watkins underneath with the finish.
Great, just offensive possession. That entire possession, it just shows South Carolina's resiliency and why they're so successful off of second chance points, because they are consistent with chasing after the basketball. That's who they are. That's in their DNA. Getting rebounds and on defense, but on offense, getting their own offensive rebounds, and they're rewarded for it.
And the height that Dawn Staley is able to bring off the bench. You're looking at Cardoso at 6'7", and Mihir at 6'4", Watkins at 6'3".
Yeah, I mean, that's a luxury. Not every coach has that opportunity to bring off the bench, as you mentioned, those type of caliber players, not only with the height, but the skill set to come in and give the game, whatever the game is calling for at that time, be able to feed and push the game forward and be productive.
Whatever she feels like going to, like we talked about it earlier, but it's almost like having a basket full of fruit. You feel like an apple, you go for an apple. You feel like a banana, go for a banana. Well, if you, John Staley, you feel like some height, you throw in Cardoso. You feel some shooting, put in Brielle.
Right.
You feel some playmaking, put in Mihir.
Right.
She just has a little bit of everything to go to off the bench. There's a nice finish for KK Deans.
And it's good to see Deans to get on the scoreboard for Florida. We expected much from her from this game.
Gamecocks holding for the final shot of the quarter. It's a 3, no good from Hall. Dean skies for the rebound. 2 seconds. And the heave is no good, but an outstanding first quarter for the Gamecocks. They shoot 65%, 13 of 20 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. And they'll take a 29-15 lead into the second quarter. Dawn Staley in her 15th season as the head coach for the Gamecocks, looking for back-to-back national championships. Won it last year in 2022. It was her second overall. 4 Final Four appearances in the last 7 years. Brett, we talked to Coach Staley in the shoot-around today and asked her who's the most likely on the team to be the next Dawn Staley, not in terms of a professional player, but coaching acumen. And she said, without hesitation, Victoria Saxton.
Yeah, and we talked about that, just how she is just a level-headed player. She loves people, and, you know, this is a people's job. You be able to work with players no matter how they feel that day, whatever they have, and Victoria Saxton is just that leader. Again, she's been a captain since her sophomore year, and that doesn't happen too often, to be a captain your sophomore year, and for her to have that mind, her head on straight, to be able to navigate the world of coaching. I definitely think we could take that and take it even further.
5 seasons, 4 years of captain. And we asked her what she learned the most from Coach Staley, and she talked about just the way she treats people.
Right, yeah.
So important as a coach.
Right, absolutely. I definitely think she would be extremely successful as a coach, you know, especially after being under Coach Staley's tutelage, but just being able to talk about X's and O and rally, you know, a group of girls that want to do this following her footsteps.
And her mother was a coach, so it runs in the family.
Right, yeah.
Cook is tied up. It looks like we're going to have a foul called on the Gators. It's KK Deans, picks up her first. South Carolina leading 29-15, shot 65% in the first quarter. Florida not bad, 50% in the first quarter. Look inside to Cardoso. Fight for the loose ball. Deans to the floor.
Great hustle
Jump
play.
ball.
Yeah, great hustle play by Deans. And as you said before, you know, Florida is not, they're shooting 50% from the floor. They're getting great looks. Again, just not having much luck with having the basketball connect or finish at the basket.
Almost a 30-point first quarter for South Carolina. 29 points for a team that averages 82.5 per game. That's second in the SEC to LSU, but they just dropped 88 on the Tigers and outscored them by 24 points. South Carolina's 7th in the nation in points per game. Really dominate on the offensive glass, second in the nation in that category. Over 200 more offensive rebounds than their opponents, leading to so many second chance points. Sometimes it's third chance and fourth chance. A me here, an open look.
And we saw a possession like that earlier in the first quarter, talking about fourth and, you know, fifth chances. You know, when you're giving yourself that many opportunities to score, again, you just increase your chances of winning the basketball game.
Well, Weish was met, but a foul's going to be called on South Carolina. Letitia Amee here, she picks up her first. That will send one of the Weish sisters to the line. Tatiana, sophomore forward from Fort Lauderdale. Her twin sister Talia is on the team as well. Tatiana misses the first. She's only a 42% free throw shooter coming into tonight. Did not score at Georgia on Sunday, did have 5 rebounds. Second attempt rattles in and out. Raven Johnson makes her move. And the putback for Cardoso.
Nice cleanup by Cardoso. Again, a nice drive, really, even starting by Raven Johnson, attacking the basket aggressively, and that's what your teammates are there for.
An easy finish in response for KK Deans.
Yeah, nice read by KK Deans to read where the defense is and adjust your shot accordingly. And she was awarded with a 2-point play.
Pace starting to pick up as Watkins draws the foul. Foul's going to be called on Jordan Merritt. That's her second. Merritt started the first 7 games in November and then missed 2 months. Came back against Vanderbilt on January 22nd. Has been playing off the bench since. And was a really high volume scorer before her injury. Double digits in 6 of the first 7 games. Her loss really hurt Florida this season. She's back now. Rimdahl.
Rimdahl is not afraid to get to the rim. She has been driving all game, and again, that's what Florida is going to need.
Well, Zia Cook continues her hot shooting. Cook has 10.
And she has the answer. Great shot for Zia Cook. Again, it's exciting to see her become more confident in her shot and consistent with that, really, within SEC play.
Correa found some space, couldn't finish. Weish, the second opportunity. Whose ball is it? Gators basketball.
Great hustle play by Weish. She could have easily given up on that play, but stuck with it.
Cardoso checks out, and Leah Boston checks back in for South Carolina. Just doesn't get any easier on the inside defensively for Florida's. Take out one star center and you put in another. And on the offense here, Rimdahl attempted the reverse, shot no good. Fight for the rebound and a whistle. And that's gonna go against the Gators. Jordan Merritt. She picks up her third. More early in the second quarter. Merritt's gonna have to be really careful here. Johnson runs out of room, finds Watkins. Watkins seeing a lot of minutes early in this first half. Cook, top of the circle, that's good!
She is cooking tonight. Again, she just shoots, goes into her shot so confident.
Cook has 13 points on 5 of 7 shooting, 3 for 4 from behind the arc. Foul on Ashlyn Watkins, her first. Now Florida's able to get Merritt and her 3 fouls out of the game. 38-17 is our score, 6:59 left to go here in the second quarter. All-time series is pretty close between South Carolina and Florida. Gamecocks lead at 22-20, but they've won the last 14. So it's a bit misleading, that all-time number. It's a close meeting last season, 62-50 finish for South Carolina in Gainesville.
Yeah, both programs, you know, in the SEC, again, it's just a tough conference. You know, you have programs that are, you know, extremely successful. And you have sometimes the programs that are rebuilding, but the South Carolina-Florida matchup has always been a good one.
And Coach Staley said, look, they're getting healthier. They haven't been fully healthy, Florida, but they're big. They post up strong. If we allow them to get deep post-ups, we're going to have a really long night. And they do it all the time, so we can't get caught off guard by it. Johnson tracks down that rebound. But they have guards that can fill it up as well. Players like Deans. Just to make sure we defend the way we've been defending and keep doing the things we've been doing from an offensive standpoint. They have so far. They lead 38-17.
Yeah, Coach talked about how, you know, they focus on what they do best. You know, that's how they're going to be, you know, successful.
Boston no good. Ricards stops, pops, can't hit. And to me here the other way. Good look to Raven Johnson. Tried to draw some contact, nothing called. Now a foul's called. And the crowd not happy here inside Colonial Life Arena.
Not happy at all. She did a little something of a, looked like a hook maybe, but again, just an aggressive possession. Everyone was going after basketball as you want or anticipate.
Ami here picks up her second and she'll check out. Florida offense averages 69.5 points per game. That's 8 from the SEC. Brett, you talked about the shooting struggles this month. The numbers haven't been good, especially during this 3-game losing streak.
No, and Florida have been getting good looks, but just, again, not able to finish those baskets.
Defense to offense for the Gamecocks, courtesy of Raven Johnson.
Again, pushing the tempo. You got it coming from your point guard, and again, that's what Raven Johnson has the capability of doing. She can slow the tempo down, and she can pick it up in transition, but that's South Carolina's MO, to push the ball in transition, keep the tempo going, and each player understands and does that well.
Cook tried to feed Saxton, but it's stolen by Ricards. Raven's been putting up some numbers lately. 10 points against LSU on Sunday at a career-high 14 points at UConn.
Yeah, we talked about her before with just how she just sprouted. Really, almost when she lost the knee brace, it has really just opened her up, and you can see why she is a player that she is and why she's a McDonald's All-American.
Takes us to immediate timeout. 4:51 left to go in the second quarter. South Carolina all over Florida, 40-17. And welcome back inside Colonial Life Arena. 40-17 lead for the Gamecocks. It's a good look at number 25, Faith Dute, Canadian international. Like Letitia Mihir, she has Canadian national team experience, but she's from Vancouver, the west coast of Canada, opposite side of Mihir. Got a late start, didn't actually start playing basketball until she was 14. She took dance classes when she was younger with hopes of being a singer-dancer one day, but ultimately fell in love with basketball. Now her dream job is to play in the WNBA. Yeah,
what amazing, again, transition. You would think most time people who have dreams of playing in the WNBA, they've been playing all their lives or have come from a family of athletes of some sort. So, but it's just really cool to see, again, and women in sports and the power of sports have that the power of sport has, and for her to be able to take her talents to the next level, come to the States, and now, really give herself a better chance of competing at the WNBA level.
She's a really important player for Florida at 6'4", one of their key bigs. Has 2 points and 2 fouls in only 2.5 minutes. And she's coming off a game where she only played 10 minutes against Georgia because she picked up 4 fouls. So.
Yeah, and that's going to be very important to be able to manage fouls. When you manage those fouls, you're able to stay on the floor. But she definitely, like you mentioned before, brings that height and depth that keeps be able to compete against South Carolina bigs.
40-17 lead for the Gamecocks. Under 5 to go here in the second quarter. Boston finds Beal. Shoots over Ricards and hits it again.
What a shot. Bree Beal, again, she's unafraid to shoot the three. That's a great look for her, and she doesn't take them often, but when she does, she's always accurate and on point, and she takes the right shot at the right time.
Beal has 10, 2 for 2 from behind the arc. With a pair of threes in the LSU game. Her previous best was 30% shooting as a sophomore from 3, and now she's at 40%, over that number with the 2 makes so far tonight.
Yeah, again, she's one of those players who's very selective in their three-point shooting, but she shoots just, again, at the right time. You don't find her taking too many shots that were, not appropriate for the time at the game, but she just, again, a timely player, knows when to take when to take those type of shots.
Micah Perry works her way around Cardoso, has it rejected. Giving up 6 inches to Cardoso.
Perry and Rimdahl have really worked their way to the paint, and I love to see the attack and the aggressive. They're unafraid, and you can't be afraid to attack the rim in this type of game. Although you may have to alter your shot a little bit given the the obvious height there, but they're unafraid to attack the basket.
Spin move from Kyle, but shot no good. Home run pass is incomplete for South Carolina.
Yeah. And Perry was right there. She hustled down to get a stop. So good hustle play for Perry to just be another defensive presence in that transition play.
I thought she was really impressive in the loss at Georgia. 7 points, 3 rebounds. Had a breakout game against Arkansas in early January. She put up 17. 7 points against Georgia was her next highest output of the season. That pass is deflected, and it's a turnover for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I think Cook had the right idea, just got her the ball a little too late.
Rimdahl makes her move, gets past Cardoso, takes a wild shot. And it looks like a foul's going to be called on Florida. You see the height of Cardoso really affecting Rimdahl, because Rimdahl got around her pretty quickly. Yeah, she's 5'9", and she still had to throw up a wild shot.
Yeah, and she's been doing that all game, just having to alter her shot, again, because of the obvious height. But she's unafraid to go in there.
Gonzalez, a player that can fill it up. Career high 21 against Tennessee, 19 points twice this season. Fletcher, Cardoso, Cook, shot no good, but there's Saxton doing work on the offensive glass.
Wow, again, Victoria Saxton just came out of nowhere just to grab the rebound, and again, thanks to Cardoso for sealing off our defender to give Saxton that space to get the rebound and for the putback.
4 points, 2 boards so far for Victoria Saxton, who often flies under the radar here at South Carolina, but intangibles.
Intangibles, yeah. And she talked about how she doesn't focus too much on the stats, and she's never been a stats person, and she knows that it's the little things that add up to the big things. And again, that's just, she's not saying that. She has evidence of doing and being that type of player and thinking that type of way.
Nice feed to Weish, but a travel is called. Those intangibles are what makes a great team player.
Right.
Probably a great potential future head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And the intangibles that, again, like you said, it don't show up on the stat sheet. And sometimes it's those things that people don't want to do either. You know, sometimes you're so talented, it's easy to take a day off, but great shot by Bree Brill.
She's another glue player for South Carolina. Another one of those types that does a lot of things that don't get recognized, but often the most important player on the court.
Right, absolutely. You know, her and Victoria Saxton has a lot of that in common. Just solid players, which has really slotted their, or given their ability to be a starter for as long as they have started. Just being those, you know, the dependable, accountable player who's going to make the right decisions at the right time. And if you're willing to do that, then again, you're going to find yourself rewarded at the end of the day.
Cardoso kicks it out to Hall. She finds Saxton. Defense is there from Weish, but a foul is called. The foul's going to be called on Jariah Warren. Warren picks up her first, the sophomore guard from Lake Charles, Louisiana. So sends Victoria Saxton to the line. 71% free throw shooter. In and out on the first. Another thing I love about Saxton, Brett, and we've talked about it earlier this season, is she steps it up in big moments. If you look at her career highs, it's 20 points against Mercer in the 2021 NCAA tournament. You look at her career high in rebounds, it's 14 in the 2022 tournament against North Carolina. So she turns it on in the big moments in March.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, just to have that type of player on your team, and you can always win big games so they're accountable, and you depend on them.
Transition attempt from Correa, no good. And it's South Carolina basketball with under a minute remaining here in the second quarter. They lead 49-19. Micah Perry checks back in for the Gamecocks. Excuse me, for the Gators. Gamecocks shooting 60%. They've been hot from behind the arc. Cardoso looking to facilitate. Finds Beal in the corner. And Saxton with the putback.
What an aggressive rebound. Again, just being at the right place at the right time, crashing the board, and again, doing what she does best. She cleans it up and she finishes.
And the response from Micah Perry.
Great shot. Great thing to see Perry's shot actually fall. Florida's been getting a lot of the looks from the top of the key in the elbow area, but just not been able to get them to fall has not worked in their favor.
Fletcher driving baseline. Runs into traffic, shot no good. And that'll do it. An exciting first half for the Gamecocks. 51-21. South Carolina shoots 58%, 50% Brett from three.
I mean, again, just have that capability of knocking that shot down. And again, that's part of their DNA. When Zaya Cook gets it started, it just has a ripple effect on the entire team.
Cook has 13. Beal has 13. The Gamecocks have 51. We'll head to halftime. South Carolina leads by 30. Zaya Cook. She was hot early, Brett, as I mentioned, leading the team with 13 points, 5 for 8 from the field, 3 for 5 from behind the arc. Did it inside, did it outside, did it everywhere.
Yeah, again, that's just part of her game. She can take it to the basket and she can knock down the three, and the same thing with Bree Bill. Again, they have the capabilities of driving to the basket and then just being her just ready on the arc, ready to shoot. You know, she's in position, ready to have the basketball, and that's the position that you're in when you're ready to knock down a basket.
Bree already has a season high through one half, 13 points, 5 for 7 from the field, 3 for 4 from behind the arc. And a look at the comparison, heavily in favor of South Carolina.
Yeah, again, just being able to shoot the way they're shooting from the field, 58%. Again, you win basketball games like that, but you're shooting those shots and the scores is coming from, you know, players like Bree Bill and Zaya Cook. And Zaya Cook, I really, you know, credit her to kicking off the game with the layup and then coming back with a three, and her shooting confidence, I feel like, is contagious. When she's on, I believe that other teams or other players pick up on that. And again, Bree Bill, again, just doing her usual, knocking down those shots when she's open. She's very calculated in those shots. And again, she's rewarded for it because she stays ready. She moves without the basketball and she shoots with the utmost confidence.
And we saw the rebounding differential heavily in favor of South Carolina. South Carolina, they're first in, second in the nation in defensive rebounding, first in the nation in rebounding margin, but the Gamecocks get second chance opportunities and typically their opponents don't. Yeah,
the second chance opportunities, and we talked about earlier, Dave, with the third and fourth chance opportunity. There's been several possessions where they've gotten third or fourth opportunities for their shots. And again, when you are going after the basketball that aggressively, you increase your chance of being able to score. And when you increase your chances to score, you increase your chances of winning. So that is, you know, South Carolina's MO with crashing the boards. That's part of what they do. And so I'm not really completely surprised about this number, but again, that's just what they do.
Defensively, they only allow 49 points per game. That's tops in the SEC, #1 in the nation as well. They've really created their success on the backbone of playing defense, Brett. This team, they just look so committed. They understand how they need to play. They get after it. They're disruptive. They impose their defensive will to build a big lead, and we've seen that already through one half. We see it game after game. They've held Florida just 21 points so far, and this is a Florida offense that averages just under 70 points per game.
Yeah, again, that we talked about before, the South Carolina suffocating defense, because it's so tough to be able to score against their suffocating defense that most teams average less than what they usually average on a regular game. But again, Florida's getting great looks, again, around the elbow, top of the key, but just not able to finish. Rumdo has been relentless in attacking the basket, have had to alter her shot a little bit given the height differential, but again, Florida has had the looks, just does not have the best luck of finishing for this game, or at least for the first half.
So we'll see what adjustments the Gators make in the second half, trailing by 30. Duke tries to get it inside to Merritt, but it's stolen by Saxton. Boston. Now Fletcher. Cook is double teamed. Finds Saxton. That shot no good, and the rebound from Merritt. Merritt, the junior forward from Plano, Texas, averaging 4.4 rebounds per game. Dealing with injury this season. Saxton will pick up the foul here. Her first.
Good to see Duke back in the game again, just battling in the post area and being that, again, just offensive presence for Florida.
From the corner, that's good. Faith Duke, a 28% three-point shooter, connects.
Great shot by Faith Duke. We just talked about her post presence. Looks like she has really good three-point presence tonight as well.
She has a nice soft touch, just about staying on the floor.
Yeah.
She picked up a couple of early fouls in the first half. Cook with the response for South Carolina.
Again, we talked about South Carolina three-point shooting and Zia Cook getting that, lighting the match to that. Again, it's just good seeing her be confident in her shot.
Bombs away from Correa.
Great answer for Correa just to, again, get Florida offense back going. They were in a little drought earlier, but again, they're getting great great looks. Just haven't had again much luck with getting the shot to connect.
It's the first made basket for Correa. She's now 1 for 5. They need her to get it going, averaging 12.2 per game. She's their second leading scorer. Terrific transfer from St. John. She was first team All Big East the last 2 seasons. Saxton from the elbow.
Great shot by Victoria Saxton. She was able to read the defense. I saw that they were sagging off of her a little bit to draw more attention to Aaliyah Boston, and they end up paying for it.
She has a very underrated mid-range game as well.
I think so too. She doesn't take many of those shots, and like I said, when she does, it's very, very calculated. But most defenses come in, they draw so much. Aaliyah Boston draws so much attention that sometimes 2 seconds away from another player can cost you another point.
There's that combo defensively, Saxton and Boston getting involved. It'll be Gamecock basketball, leading 56-27. Staley talked about how they performed on the biggest stage against LSU. She said, hey, we're great preparers. Players come into practice locked in. They know the game plan before the game plan. They know what to say when we discuss who the next opponent is. And that helps. It's just a culture of learning and growing and understanding what it takes to be great. They have that here in Columbia.
Yeah, and again, it's evident that they do. It's hard to win games and be consistent the way they're doing without having players of that mindset. And not only just having it for one game, but having it game in, game out.
Merritt off the mark from 3. It's Bree Beal the other way. Cook. Boston in the post against Duke. Saxton. Rebound for fake Dude. This is Correa. Stops, fires. Shot off the back iron. Beal looking to push. Takes it right to Duke and draws the foul. Bree Beal, she's been aggressive, not just as a three-point shooter, but also taking it to the basket.
Yeah, she has both capabilities of. It's hard to scout her because she could knock down the 3 or she could take you to the basket. And again, that's as she here, good aggressive drive. Again, not worried about the height there, but again, she just has that ability to take you to the basket or knock down the shot, and that's really hard to guard.
She's a 62% free throw shooter. They asked Coach Staley about that, and I believe it was the post game after LSU, and she said, I'm really happy for Bree. She's that player that's seasoned now. She knows what to expect. She's seen the type of defenses that teams play against her, and she's making them pay, banging out important threes and important times in the game, and her assists have been great as well. She can pass, she can drive, really playing like a seasoned vet. We'll go the other way here.
Yeah, seasoned vet. I think that's definitely an accurate description of her. And we talked about before, her shots are calculated. She doesn't take many of them, but when she does, it's at the right time.
It's a steal for the Gators. Ricards up ahead. Defense from Beal affected that shot. Gators really need to take advantage of those opportunities, Brett, and convert in transition. Beal. Cook will drive instead, and she'll draw a whistle. All season long, Zia Cook's shown her ability to drive and get to the line.
Absolutely. Again, that's her, again, part of her player IQ, knowing how to read the defense. Hey, this is not a three-point shot. Let me take you to the basket. And the thing that works out for Cook is that she plays so low to the basket, so low to the ground. Like she's able to move and be quick with her movements because she's not standing up straight. Again, she's in a position to get that first step or attack that first outside foot to get to the basket.
makes her so difficult to defend.
Yeah, very, very difficult to defend. You know, just a pump fake or just, you know, jab, and she's gone.
Because you have to respect your shooting ability at the same time. You have to respect your speed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like I said, it's hard to guard because she's ready to shoot. She can shoot at any moment, but she's not afraid to drive.
She gives the Gamecocks 58-27 lead. Perry will fire from deep. That's good.
Nice shot.
Perry.
Yeah, nice shot. Again, Florida having those open looks and have had those frequently tonight. Just not having the ability to, or just not knocking them down has really affected them. But they're definitely getting a look, and it's great to see Perry get back on the scoreboard.
It's her second made three of the night. She comes into tonight shooting just 16% from behind the arc. The whistle. And a foul that's going to be called on Tatiana Weish as she picks up her first. Just under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, so it brings us to immediate timeout with 4:58 remaining here in the third. South Carolina leads Florida 58-30. Before the immediate timeout, foul was called on Tatiana Weish, the sophomore forward for Florida. Her twin sister, Talia, they both play for the Gators. They're the first set of twins in program history. And the third set of sisters, the Milton sisters, starred together in the 1990s for the Gators, and the Washington sisters both played for Florida, although not at the same time. But Brett, that's got to be unique to not just have a sister, but a twin sister on your team. And it's great because you have a pickup partner for life.
Yeah, for sure. I always wondered if I had a twin, like what would that twin be like? But yeah, that's pretty cool to have a twin.
It's constant competition, someone to go up against that's your size if you're playing one-on-one.
Right, yeah.
Or just someone you can play pickup with as a partner. You just know each other so well. No team is going to stand a chance going up against you.
Right.
Saxton has 11. Her season high is 12. That was against Auburn on January 5th, so she's 1 point away from tying that mark. Perry pulls up and hits. How impressive has Micah Perry been for Florida?
Nice shot. Again, just super active on offense. She has been unafraid to take shots. I mean, again, and just been consistent. She's 4 for 6 from the field, and sometimes you can get a little discouraged if you miss, you know, your first or second shot. But she has been relentless in getting her shot in, regardless of the outcome.
The freshman has 10. Just too much height for Cardoso.
Yeah, again, that says, you know, a height issue. Good finish for Cardoso.
Deans runs out of room. She gets it back. Against Cardoso. And again, the defense for Camila Cardoso. It's just so tough to get adequate shot off against her. Johnson from the baseline, in and out. Bouncing around. And it's like going to stay with the Gamecocks.
Yeah. Again, then we talked about before, is altering your shots around someone of Cardoso's height. Rimdahl has been doing it all game. She's been unafraid to take it to the basket, but she has to alter her shot.
A smooth stroke from Zaya Cook. Zaya has 19. Correa hands off to Warren. Now Kyle, who's been quiet, can't finish from in close.
Nice move by Kyle, but again, having to take advantage of that, you know, wide open layup there, but great read from the defense.
An easy basket inside for Sanaya Fagan, the sophomore forward from Ellenwood, Georgia. She was so good in the non-conference. 13 against Coastal, 14 against Liberty. Career high 15 in the opener against ETSU.
Yeah, and she's one of those players we talked about that, you know, has really been trusting the process.
Buries one from deep.
With the spin, I mean, again, you can't shoot any. That's what confidence comes from right there. When you shoot and you can take a spin, you know you're confident in your shot.
She's been a highlight reel tonight. 22 points, 8 for 11 from the field. Another look. Her 5th 3 of the night. She's shooting with confidence.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
She'll take a seat here. 2:47 remaining in the third. Micah Perry to the line for the Gators. 69% free throw shooter, and this is the first. Perry was the #4 recruit in the state of Oklahoma. Freshman from Norman, helped lead Norman High School to a pair of state titles. Made her way to Gainesville, Florida. Offensive rebound. That shot is good for Rashea Kyle, the junior center from Marion, Indiana, the Purdue transfer. Only played 9 games last year for the Boilermakers, and then an injury ended her season. She was a big recruit for Purdue, was the #5 center in the nation coming out of high school. Good get for Coach Finley out of the transfer portal.
Yeah, absolutely. And her coming in with her, experience also, helps Florida, particularly, with their injuries that they've been battling with all season. But when you come in with experience, it's always helpful because you're able to take those experiences that you have, lessons that you've learned from your previous place of play, and apply it to your new program.
And even those players like Kyle that are now healthy for Florida, they didn't practice in the summer, recovering from the broken foot, and Dean's recovering from her ACL. So you have leading scorers that are out for the year, players that are coming back but didn't really get a chance to practice in the summer. And so it's tough putting it all together.
Yeah, and it's tough when you miss a summer. Summer is very, very critical in your development, preparing you for the preseason, which prepares you for the season. So that's a very critical step in your play and recovery. So, but again, they've been doing a good job so far for this game. But again, this is part of where Florida is in their program, just rebuilding and trying to figure it out.
Super talented Sanaya Fagan hits the second. Gamecocks have 70. They lead 70-34. Here's Duke. Now Rimdahl. The floater, no good. Cardoso takes the rebound away from her teammate, Amihir. Raven Johnson got tied up by Perry. Rimdahl back to Perry. Again, the Gators just can't finish in transition. And a whistle and a foul called.
Front hustle play by Rimdahl and Perry. Again, just aggressive play. Being able to, Florida has to be able to convert those turnovers, though, into points.
First foul on Correa. I'm sorry, but.
Oh, no, looks like Coach Finley is having a conversation with her about finishing.
That's a freshman out there playing important minutes in the SEC. She's going to be a good one for Florida.
Absolutely.
Amihir drains the first. Tisha, 69% free throw shooter. Like Faith Dute, who we mentioned earlier, has been a member of the Canadian national team. Maybe the most versatile player for South Carolina. Play all 5 positions on the floor.
Yeah, definitely. And when Coach talked about point guard reserves, of course, you mentioned Fletcher, Johnson, and just Amihir. Yeah. We've seen her at that position at point guard a little bit of last season. And again, that just shows the depth of Carolina. Someone of her height and her body size you wouldn't necessarily see as a point guard, but she has the ability to do it, and she did a great job last season in that role.
Correa on the drive against Amihir. She'll kick it out. Reich thought about it. Rimdahl runs into Cardoso, so that's a problem. Now loses the basketball, but we're going to have a foul called. And it's going to go against the Gamecocks. Cardoso picks up her first. Miller didn't love the call. Rimdahl pulls up and hits.
Nice shot from Rimdahl. Good to see her shots finally fall. Again, all game, she has been relentless in driving to the basket and hitting those shots. But again, just now seeing those shots fall. But the Gators are going to need her to be able to do that for the rest of this game.
She had a great freshman season, made the SEC All-Freshman team last year. Was the first Florida freshman in school history to record back-to-back games with 5 made threes. She can really shoot it. Correa high off the glass, no good. Ami here, a push to gain that space, and she's going to be called with the foul. It's the third on Ami here. It's about 2.5 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Correa kicks it to the corner. Ricards.
Great shot. Again, those are shots that Florida has been getting, good looks that Florida has been getting all game, but they're just now starting to fall.
Ricards has been a defensive specialist in the past, averaging 12 points per game this season. Cardoso, tough angle. And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. South Carolina leads Florida 72-39, fourth quarter, when we come back. And welcome back inside Colonial Life Arena. Big lead for the Gamecocks, 72-39 as we approach the start of the fourth quarter. Zia Cook, a team high 22 points. She's been hot from behind the arc. And Brett, I guess this is such a difficult team to prepare for because you got to go up against the #1 player in the country in Aaliyah Boston. You have the SEC Player of the Week in Cardoso. They both play inside, and yet who's beat you tonight? It's been Zia Cook with 22, Bree Beal with 14, the perimeter players, and even Saxton chipping in with 11.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's the again, the beauty of this team is that they have so many in their arsenal. They have so many players that you just never know whose night is going to be. If you spend so much time focusing on preparing for Aaliyah, like I said, it draws you away from preparing for the Zia Cooks, the Bree Hall, the Talasia Coopers, the Ashlyn Watkins. It just pulls you away from preparing for those type of games. But again, there's really no formula because it's just who South Carolina is, and you can just always be in for a good surprise. Let's say that.
Ricards, almost an and one. You have to love the enthusiasm from Florida. Trailing big, they still jumping around off the bench. Celebration of the possible and one for Ricards, even though it didn't go down. Coach Finley talked about that with us in the shoot-around. She said, you know, this season hasn't gone the way they would have liked, but you wouldn't know it if you watched them practice. The team showed a lot of energy in their shoot-around. It's a good group that really likes each other. And the foundation is there. She talked about that. And she said, you know, a lot of coaches, they say that, but I can really see it.
Right, absolutely. And as you said before, with them cheering, it seems like that's the type of culture that she's building. That, hey, we're getting there. I need you to buy into the process now. I need you to see the vision now. And she seems like the type of coach that no matter what the outcome looks like or what the game looks like, you're going to be cheering for your teammates as if the game is tied or we're leading, or if the score was flipped. And so I just believe what she's building, that type of culture where you are still cheering despite the circumstances, that's what it's going to require to become a championship type of team.
And this is a team that has the potential to bring everyone back, and then you add the leading scorer from last season, Zippy Broughton. It could be a team to reckon with next season.
Absolutely, and that's what you mentioned before about the foundation. Hey, we've been plagued with they've been plagued with injuries. You know, something that's inevitable in any sport. But knowing, like you said, the type of talent that they do have, the type of talent that they can't bring back, and not to mention the type of talent that they're bringing in, they definitely have the potential to really do something special. And it takes those little small acts by still cheering and still being into the game despite the score.
Merritt, I believe, has fouled out for the Gators. Bree Hall, a nice move inside.
Nice to see Bree on the scoreboard. Again, she's one of those silent assassins too that you never know could also have a breakout game. She too has the ability to knock down the three, and as well as drop to the basket. Hasn't had much luck with the three for this game, 0 from 3 from the three-point line, but we know that she can knock down the shots.
Well, Ricards is getting hot for Florida. Nina Ricards was a standout at Christ the King. All responds. Christ the King, quite the women's basketball pipeline, having produced the likes of Sue Bird, Shamika Holtzclaw, Tina Charles. Those are legends. And you think about the men's side, the travel here, Lamar Odom, Jose Alvarado, Khalid Reeves, Jason Williams, several NBA players. So coming from that program.
That just sounds like the basketball mecca.
Yeah, it is. Queens native. Amihir off the glass, no good. Here's Cooper. And one! Talasia Cooper, freshman, has played limited minutes in SEC play.
Nice play by Talasia Cooper. Again, just aggressive ability to get the defense on her back and really take that 1-2 step to get to the basket.
2021 South Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year as a junior. McDonald's All-American as a senior. 3,000-point scorer at the high school level. Highly skilled, very athletic.
She's one of those, as we mentioned before, those players that can definitely have an impactful career here at Carolina.
Deans for three. Off the mark. The rebound tracked down by Kyle. The Gators will have another opportunity. It is Kyle, in and out. And Watkins grabs the rebound. Cooper was looking for Bree Hall, but fired it too high. Yeah,
had the right idea, and she gave her, patted her chest, it's like, hey, that was on me. She had the right idea, didn't really execute the way she wanted.
Chloe Kitts checks in for the first time. Freshman forward from Florida. At DME Academy in Daytona Beach. Made her debut in December. Supposed to be class of 2023, enrolled early here at South Carolina. She's the number 17 recruit for that class. Her debut was a good one, Brett. We were here for it, 10.7 rebounds against Charleston Southern.
Yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday, actually. She came in with an immediate start. And, I mean, just felt like she looked like she just fit in so well, was not uncomfortable. Later in the press conference, and they asked if she was nervous, and she was like, no, I wasn't nervous. And you couldn't even tell that she had just literally left high school, a few days prior. So it's good to see that she's following into the system already. And again, if she's getting into it this early, just imagine what she's able to do, 2 or 3 years from now.
Foul's called on Ashlyn Watkins. She picks up her third. Kitts seeing some time in SEC action. She last played February 2nd against Kentucky. Max Preps Junior All-American second team member. U.S. National Team under 18 member. Talent upon talent coming off the bench for South Carolina. Ricards has been impressive in the second half.
Nice play by Ricards. Again, as you said, she's been super impressive and productive from behind the arc and drive it to the basket.
She has 13. Kitts was bumped, gets it inside to Amihir. Looking for contact, no call. Another opportunity for South Carolina. Kitts drives baseline. There's the whistle. It's on KK Dean. She picks up her second. Cooper, unable to finish. It's tapped around, now loose on the floor. And Deans comes away with it. Fancy pass. And now the Gators will reset. Rimdow from the corner. That's good.
Great shot for Rimdow.
39% three-point shooter. Program's first player from Denmark, has competed for her home country since she was 15 years old. Over 50 games on the national level for Rimdow.
Prior to coming to UF, just having that type of experience, even though it may have been in a different setting, but just having experience coming in. That's not too many people get that privilege to be able to do that.
Sanaya Fagan checks back in for South Carolina. Fagan finds Kitts. Again, another opportunity for South Carolina. Fagan spins around Kyle. And it'll be Gators basketball. Micah Perry checks back in for Florida. Tatiana Weish as well. Rimdahl and Doot will take a seat. (78-48). Lead is 30 for the Gamecocks. Ricards has had the hot hand. That one rattled out, but a whistle first. And Sanaya Fagan picks up her second. Stay with Florida. Look, this one looks like it's going to go down as another loss for the Gators, but what's been a tough season with the injuries. Coach Finley told the team after the last Georgia loss, I know you're disappointed, we all are, but we have the choice to stick together, and that's what we're doing, and it's what they've done all season. And so after, you get your treatment, your rest, and clear your minds, schoolwork, and then move on. They get together, they watch film, they learn, try to learn from what they saw. Sounds basic, but they're going to improve.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, just as you said, great finish. And as you said, these type of the games that you go back and watch film and you learn from, and you improve and you make adjustments, but there's still more basketball to be played ahead.
15 points for Ricards as she finishes. Takes us to a timeout. South Carolina leads Florida 78-50, 5:11 left to go from Columbia. And there's the SEC Co-Player of the Week, Camila Cardoso. 5 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks tonight for the Gamecocks. A player who, Brett, is always smiling, always seems to be in a good mood.
Yeah, definitely. Her teammates talked about how she laughs at everything. She's a very jovial personality, and her smile is infectious. It's contagious.
Some of the many faces of Camila Cardoso. Always ends up in a smile, though.
A smile with a little dance. And her teammates talked about how she apologizes for everything, even a turnover. Although most people are apologetic for that, but she just has a very special way of responding. And hey, what better way to respond to anything than with a smile and a little dance, a little shake of the shoulders? And again, it's just great to have those type of personalities on the team. Again, when those are the type of players that that give you that pick me up when you don't have anything, when you're feeling down, and like I said, it's infectious.
Junior center from Brazil asked Leah Boston after the shoot-around about that. I said, you think it's a Latin American? Is it a Brazil thing or is it a Camila thing? Always smile. She said, no, it's a Camila thing. It's always smiling practice.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool. And you would think that someone of her experience, or just maybe to be a little bit shy, but again, a smile is her go-to.
That's what you want on your team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone who's always happy.
They'll take that any day.
Deans feeds Kyle. Good defense from Sanaya Fagan. And timeout here with 4:54 remaining. And we're going to take the timeout as well. South Carolina leads Florida 78-50 from Columbia. Another great crowd on hand here inside Colonial Life Arena. 13,943 the attendance tonight, Brett.
Again, it's just great to see people come out and support women's basketball. The other day we talked about earlier about the South Carolina has been in 2 of the most viewed basketball games, February the 5th versus UConn, and just most recently February the 12th versus LSU. The 5th game was, peaked at 1.8 million views according to Fox PR, and that's just pretty cool just to see people come out and support women's basketball, and it really just reinforces the importance of betting on women and investing in women's sports.
And a look at Cynthia Jordan, now an assistant coach at Florida. In her first season there, she was previously the director of operations for 10 seasons here at South Carolina, and even played for Dawn Staley at Temple and then professionally overseas. And she was the first signee at Temple for Dawn.
Yeah, again, CJ and Coach Staley have been together for a very long time, and it's great to see her evolve, from director of ops to the coaching, shifting over, a couple of seats in the coaching realm. So I'm just super happy for CJ to see her evolve. She's been well equipped. She's seen the program go from develop from a minimum of like 2,000 or so fans to 18,000 to sold out crowd. So she understands what it takes to build a program from ground up. She's seen it firsthand.
Now getting the opportunity to coach in the SEC.
Right. Yeah, and at a neighboring school.
Trying to get it to Kitts inside, but it's ripped away by Rashea Kyle. Now whistle. Called on Kyle. So Rashea will take a seat. Kyle was the number 5 rated center by ESPN coming out of high school. Stayed in her home state to go to Purdue, and now playing for Florida. Kitts. Watkins.
Nice touch by Watkins, and she's again one of those players that you just got to keep your eye on because she's going to be truly something special. She's just so extremely athletic and just building her basketball, or already have a basketball IQ, but still keeping up with the pace of college basketball. She's definitely going to be, again, a player that South Carolina is going to remember.
Physically just doesn't look like a freshman.
No, not at all. She exceeds all stereotypes of what a freshman is supposed to look like coming into college. But again, she's there. She doesn't show too much emotion, but she is, again, relentless on the boards and just tries to be there for her teammates whenever she can.
Certainly has the potential to be dominant here in Columbia. Foul's going to be called on Talasia Cooper. Cooper picks up her first. It's going to send Nina Rickards to the line. Rickards is a 76% free throw shooter coming into tonight. Hits the first. Rickards has been a 4-year player for Florida. Led the Gators in offensive rebounds last year and did that from the guard position. She's only 5'9". Does a little bit of everything for the Gators. There's a turnover. Rickards, I talked about her earlier as a defensive specialist, but she averages 12 a game. She's really invaluable. To prove that, she played 39 minutes and 36 seconds in their NCAA tournament game against UCF last season. So she's a player you just can't take off the floor. Draws contact. It's Warren. And she'll head to the line. Jariah Warren, a sophomore guard from Lake Charles, Louisiana, 60% free throw shooter. He's played in every game this season off the bench, averaging 13 minutes a game, drains the first. Gets them both. Play for the LaGrange Gators. Won back-to-back titles in high school, so she's always been a Gator.
It's no surprise. She's come to Florida to continue her Gator streak, her Gator theme.
Oh, what a move by Cooper. And the putback is there for Watkins.
Nice crafted play by Cooper. Again, as we talked about Watkins before, again, and that's just who Carolina is. You know, they get second chance points all the time.
And Watkins gets her 9th rebound. 7 points and 9 rebounds. An open look for Hall. But a whistle and player down. On the other end for Florida. Can't see just yet. A team that's been decimated by injuries this season.
Yeah.
You hate to see this.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, but I didn't see what happened.
Yeah, I didn't either.
To the Florida player that's down. But I think we have a look here. So here's a collision with Fagan. Oh, in the shoulder.
Shoulder to the chin.
Yeah, and that's Tatiana Weish. Got the worst of that. Well, we're going to help Weish up, and she gets a nice hand here from the crowd at Colonial Life Arena. Able to walk it off, and that's a good sign. She heads to the bench. Now the locker room.
Yeah. Classy move by Carolina coming over as well to check on, you know, Florida player. But I agree, Dave, you know, with Florida being plagued by injuries, this is not something you want to see.
There's too many players this season in and out of the lineup. Any sort of continual success. Under 3 minutes to go. Gamecocks lead 82-54. Duke picks up the foul. And that's her 5th, so Duke fouls out. And she'll exit. Ashlyn Watkins to the line. She's a 51% free throw shooter. Gets the first. Watkins now 8 points, 9 boards as she creeps closer to a double-double. She had her first career double-double at Cal Poly earlier this season. 2022 Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of South Carolina. Local product from right here in Columbia. Cardinal Newman's all-time leading scorer and rebounder. Perry. Shot no good. The rebound for Rimdahl. Another opportunity for the Gators. Rimdahl. She's rejected. And it's Fagan the other way, showing off her skill set. Cooper took some contact, no call. Watkins has it stripped. Watkins still fighting. And finally, a foul is called. Waiting to hear who it's against. It's KK Deans. So Deans picks up her 3rd. And Ashlyn Watkins back to the line for the Gamecocks. Another McDonald's All-American. Only played 3 minutes against LSU and didn't score. 9 points, 10 rebounds. So if she hits the second, she'll have another double-double. There it is. Double-double for Ashlyn Watkins off the bench. She's done so in only 14 minutes.
Yeah, and again, that's what I was just talking about with her, again, athleticism and her offensive productivity. Double-doubles seem to be something that she definitely has capability of doing, and there's probably going to be a consistent narrative throughout her playing career here.
Yeah, we'll see plenty more of those in the next 3 seasons. Paige Clausen checks in for Florida, sophomore forward from Naples. This is her 12th game of the season, averaging just over 3 minutes per game. Rimdahl runs out of room, so instead it's Perry. Hit stayed with her. A whistle. And we have a timeout called. Substitution timeout as Olivia Thompson checks in, a fan favorite here inside Colonial Life Arena. Thompson, the senior guard, her 18th game of the season. Watch her from behind the arc. All 22 of her shots this season are from 3. She's hit 6 of them.
Yeah, definitely a fan favorite, as you said, when she's coming off the bench. You know, the crowd, you know, again, just cheered to have her, see her out there.
Olivia didn't play against LSU. Seeing some action tonight against Florida. Five seconds for Kitts. It'll be Watkins.
Nice shot. Nice shot. That's a great shot for her around the elbow. And again, just confident and just let it loose.
Another opportunity, and the putback is good for Jariah Warren. Well, Watkins has 12 and 10 for the Gamecocks. Kitts for 3. Shot is long. Watkins. All over Warren. Almost forced the turnover. And Deems has it stripped away by Fagan. Both teams still playing hard with 32 seconds remaining. Gamecocks lead by 31. Been about a 30-point differential, Brett, from I'd say the second quarter on. It's kind of hovered around 30.
Yeah, it's been pretty consistent throughout. But again, South Carolina coming out hot with their shooting and attacking the basket and moving the ball forward, and just again resulting in them being able to pull away early.
Time will tick down on the Florida Gators, and South Carolina picks up their 26th win of the season. 31-point victory, 87-56 over Florida. The Gamecocks improved to 26-0, 13-0 in the SEC. 32 straight wins to extend the school record. The Gators will drop to 14-12 overall, 3-10 in the SEC. Brett, your thoughts on another terrific performance from South Carolina?
Again, you know, South Carolina doing what they usually do. They're, you know, dominant on the offensive side. The 3 ball for them really just fell for them tonight. Again, I credit, you know, Isaiah Cook for getting started early. They moved the point, they moved the basketball. Moved the basketball again, got it to their bigs, made their shots in the paint, and again, just incredible. Another performance by, you know, South Carolina doing what they do best. Florida just continues to battle.
A solid effort from a team that's depleted by injury.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and as we saw on the bench, is that, you know, Coach Finley did not let the players get down. They continue to fight. They continue to take shots, and you know that takes a lot of gut. And if they continue to do that, that's going to again contribute to the foundation of the winning program that Florida is trying to rebuild.
Next up for the Gamecocks, Sunday, February 19th at Ole Miss. Next up for the Gators, Sunday, February 19th against LSU. A double-double for Ashlyn Watkins, 22 for Cook, 14 for Beal, 12 for Watkins, 11 for Saxton, and 26 wins for the Gamecocks. For Brett Ball and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Weinstein saying so long from Colonial Life Arena, South Carolina winner, 87-56.